baby?
But we have no room.
Oh, yes, we have. We have the stable. Go get some clean straw, quickly. Some linen and coverings. And Samuel, make sure there's plenty of hot water.
I'm afraid it's not much, but at least it's warm and dry.
We'll take it, and thank you. Thank you.
And there in that stable, that night, she gave birth to her firstborn, wrapped him in soft, swaddling clothes, and kissed him, and laid him in a manger, because there was no room in the inn. And there, with barely a ripple, God stepped into the warm lake of humanity, with no protocol and no pretension. Where you would have thought there would have been angels accompanying the birth of this child, there were only flies. And where you might have thought there would be heads of state, there were only donkeys, and some cattle that were tied up, and a tethered camel, and a little ball of sheep, and a curious family of barn mice. And so in that little town, on that silent night, the Son of God was born, and the whole world slept. There was in the same country shepherds keeping watch over their flock by night. They guarded the sheep because they were valuable. I mean, they were good for food and for wool. And ever so often, a priest would come down from the temple in Jerusalem and look amongst the flock to find one without spot or blemish to be the sacrificial lamb. And so to these humble shepherds, God made known his plan through an angel, and the glory of heaven shone round about them.
Do not be afraid, for I bring you good news of great joy, a joy in which all peoples can share. For tonight is born to you in David's town a baby, who is the Savior, the Messiah, the Lord. And this is how you will recognize him. You will find the baby wrapped in swaddling clothes, lying in a manger.
Glory, glory, glory to God in the highest. Glory, glory, glory to God in the highest. Glory to God. Glory, glory to God in the highest. Glory to God. Glory to God. Glory to God. Glory, 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 glory to God in the highest. Glory, glory, glory to
And there were three kings. Well, there were magi, wise men, learned men in the sciences and in mathematics and astronomy and astrology. They had seen a new star, and they assumed God was trying to tell them something. And indeed he was. And so they traveled following the star all the way to Jerusalem. But there was a fourth king. He was not so wise. In fact, he was cruel and wicked. His name was Herod the Great.
Your Majesty, these three kings have traveled here from a great distance in search of the birthplace of a newborn king.
New king? What new king?
The one whose star in the eastern sky has led them here, a journey they've been on many, many months.
Where is it that the Jewish zealots prophesied that their Messiah was to be born?
In Bethlehem, sire.
Oh. Oh. Well, go on to Bethlehem and look for your king. And when you find him, come back and tell me that I may worship and welcome him properly as one king to another.
And so the wise men continued on to Bethlehem looking for the child. I wonder what they anticipated. Did they think they would find a great alabaster castle with gold banners flying from the turrets announcing the birth of a king? Did they think they would step through huge gates into a courtyard shiny and smooth with alabaster and onyx and jade and lapis? Did they think there would be courtiers dressed in silks and brocades singing praises to the new king? Did they imagine they would step into great vaulted rooms, rooms large enough for galaxies to slowly swirl in? Well, that's not what they found. They found something quite different and quite remarkable.